Some scientists predict worsening effects of human-caused climate change that will combine with natural warming patterns to create stronger and more frequent weather emergencies throughout 2024. Jackie Banez takes a look at what we could be in store for.
With the end of 2023 in sight, the United Nations Weather Agency says it is virtually certain to be the hottest year ever recorded, citing how the world's average temperature has been roughly 2.5 degrees Fahrenheit above pre-industrial times. That's about 1/10 of a degree below the warming limit set for the end of the century by nations that signed the Paris Climate Accord.
2023 sort of blew the record book in terms of climate disasters, in terms of extreme heat, extreme rainfall, and all kinds of these weather events.
But as we eye the new year, Gabriel Filippelli of Indiana University says we should expect similar forecasts throughout 2024. As above average temperatures triggered by human-caused climate change generate conditions for extreme weather events to happen more often.
They're going to be kind of our new normal, which means that we have to prepare our own environment systems in our cities and towns to manage these extremes.
Especially as the current El Nino climate pattern that fuels warming is expected to rage on into next year.
El Nino Southern Oscillation starts with the climate pattern in the Pacific Ocean and extends globally. El Nino is extreme warm, and sometimes we're sort of in the middle. Right now we're pretty heavily into El Nino, and 2024 is likely to be one as well.
This all comes as world leaders are now meeting in Dubai for the UN Climate Summit. As nations think of new ways to combat the warming, UN officials continue urging reductions in fossil fuel use and production. Jackie Ibanez, Fox News.
Well, America may have turned the corner on the COVID pandemic, but its effects are still being felt. According to the latest CDC report on life expectancy, Jonathan Suri has more from Atlanta.
The CDC is out with its annual snapshot of U.S. life expectancy, and it's a good news, bad news report. Americans are living longer. Life expectancy increased by 1.1 years in 2022 after dipping significantly during the COVID-19 pandemic. But the current life expectancy of 77.5 years is about what it was 2 decades ago, meaning the effects of COVID are still lingering.
It's still definitely a drag, and we're still a year or so away from the pre-pandemic levels of life expectancy.
Some public health experts are also blaming a sense of vaccine fatigue that grew during the pandemic, which brought overall vaccination levels down, leading to more deaths from seasonal viruses.
The number one contributor holding back it coming up to pre-levels is the increase in flu and pneumonia deaths.
In addition to fewer COVID deaths, there were also declines in mortality due to heart disease, cancer, and homicide. But overdose and suicide rates increased for a second year, bringing down overall life expectancy. Most of those overdoses were thought to be accidental, fueled by the rise of fentanyl, prompting a major crackdown this year by the DEA.
Fentanyl is the greatest threat to Americans today. It is devastating families across our country and killing Americans from all walks of life.
And breaking down the numbers by gender, American women have an 80-year life expectancy compared to about 75 years for men. In Atlanta, Jonathan Siri, Fox News.
We'll be back in just a moment.